What's up, Windsor? Fiona McDonald here and Krista Klundert of Angie Goulet and Associates, and we're here to chat with you about all things Windsor, the market, events, all of that fun stuff. So finally, I have my partner beside me. Thank goodness.
Back.
Yeah. So how was your time?
You know what? It was really great. So we flew out of Windsor straight to Cuba.
Yep.
And the YQG airport is really great. Number one, it's super small and super easy.
Right.
Luckily, I didn't have to park for the week. Somebody dropped me off, but the parking is uber cheap. I don't even know how cheap it is. And it's so safe, right? Basically walked right in. Security is just such a simple process here.
It's like a breeze through.
A breeze through.
You don't have to think about it.
Yeah. And
so
then,
nice.
in 3 hours, we're landing in Cuba. So how fantastic was that?
Amazing.
And then coming home was just as easy.
That's the thing that I love. Like the reverse, you know what? You're excited when you're going on a trip. So the drive to Toronto or to Detroit or whatever, no problem. Because you're going on vacation on the way back. That drive and all of the hiccups in between are total pain. But to be able to just drive home in 10 minutes from the airport.
That's the beauty of it. I was home in no time at all.
I agree.
And great timing of the flight. So I think I was home at like 4 o'clock and I actually went and presented offers after that, right?
Okay.
So
no crazy timing. You're not getting home in the middle of the night or anything
it's not a whole
like
day.
That. Okay.
So totally recommend, look up online some packages out of Windsor. I do think they also fly to Cancun.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
And then there's one other spot in Cuba that they do fly to. I don't want to say which name it is in case I'm wrong. But anyways, definitely
And what
have a
airline
look.
is that?
We did Sunwing.
Okay.
And I do believe it's majority Sunwing out of Windsor. But let's talk about the new Windsor Airport news.
So I'm really excited about this. Like I'm a big fan of Canadian travel. I know I'm a nerd, but I got right back into that through COVID just because that was our only availability really for a couple of years. So started going to Alberta, doing some hiking, and now we've got a direct flight from Windsor to Vancouver, which is awesome.
And did you see the introductory prices?
No, I didn't. I didn't look at it. What is it?
Oh my gosh, starting at $49.
Yeah, that's insane.
Now, as soon as they announced that, I did go online to check that availability. There was maybe only a few days left, so they're probably sold out. But I found $79. Like, wow.
So for $150 round trip or something like that, you're going all the way to Vancouver. You can't drive to Toronto and back for that anymore.
No,
right?
Exactly. And again, that whole parking thing, right? That's one of the beauties I found. But yeah, so exciting. So Vancouver is in my future.
And if you haven't been to Vancouver, highly recommend it. It's gorgeous. There's so much to see and
the
do.
weather is pretty good.
The weather is good. You might get some rain.
You likely, yes. Right. Yeah. But so much to do there. I've only been once in my life and I just love it. And the people are fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So
enough about travel. We actually have to work sometimes, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, on that note, less time to travel all of a sudden, or what? Is that a good thing?
Less time to travel. I am going to say I'm seeing a flurry of activity recently. Like in the last couple of weeks, I'm seeing a flurry of activity. Personally, I'm seeing it majority under $500,000 price point. We are back to multiple offers.
Well, mind-blowing. I saw what you put in our chat. We have a group chat, and we're always talking about what we see in the market, like real-time kind of, how many offers on different properties. And you put in there last night at whatever time, 20 offers on a property.
Yeah.
So everybody that's saying it is a buyer's market, I'm sorry. I wish for you buyers that was true, but it's not necessarily the case. There is some pent up activity.
Yes. Now I say that under 500.
Right. But we've got many different markets.
Many different markets. You work a lot in the $1 million market plus. What's going on there?
So it was slow, almost crickets for a little while there, right?
Especially Christmas time.
Before Christmas, a little bit after, it was slow moving. Now all of a sudden, some of those listings that have been on the market for a little bit, starting to sell again. I think buyers are done waiting.
So do I. Yeah. And here's the thing. There is a rumor, I think it's a pretty good rumor, that mortgage rates are going to go up at least one more time, 50 basis points.
I think one more time. Yeah.
So my brain goes two ways. Either they're trying to get in before that one final time, or number two, they're just kind of used to it. And they're like, it is what it is. I still need to buy a house. I want to buy a house, whatever. But the $1 million market is definitely moving as well.
Right. I'm not going to say same flurry of activity as 500 and under. And even I'm going to say there's been a few homes that I saw in the 600 to 700 range, multiple offers sold within a week. What I'm going to say about this market, no matter what the price point is that the devil's in the details now. Before it was like throw a sign up, you can list everything around the same price point and you're going to see multiples and it's going to sell and the seller is going to do well. Now our skills come out a little bit more. Pricing matters.
Pricing really matters.
Yeah.
And the pricing right now is tough because all of a sudden, in the last 2 weeks, we are back to seeing that list low, sell high game.
Right.
And we use that word because that's really kind of what it is.
On the right property. So knowing what you're dealing with, I think, right?
Yes. So we're seeing that come back. Like I say, in the last 2 weeks, 50% of the agents, 50% of the properties are list low, sell high. 3 weeks ago, we were almost 100% listed at what the seller's expectation was.
And we've seen that go like this over the last 6 months, I would say. Like we were down to about 30% of that happening, almost none, almost all. We've been all over the map. So always trying to read what type of property we have. Do we think there's a market that will bring multiple offers, sell a little bit higher? Mind you, are we seeing the 200, 250 over asking anymore?
No. So even that one that you mentioned last night, it did go 130,000 over.
Which is significant.
Personally, what I've been seeing in the last week is on average 60,000 over.
50 to 60 over, yeah.
But what we've really got to keep track of is that spread, right? So thank goodness that our entire team does track that. We see, this week it's 50,000 over, next week it's 60. So devil in the details, thank God we are keeping track on our team, right?
So what we do, we always watch for, we bring this information in, crunch the numbers to see what each offer is worth over asking in multiple offer situations so that we can make an educated decision on, we hear that there's 6 offers on the table. Here's where we need to be if this is the absolute house for you.
That's right. Yes. The other challenge that I'm noticing, and I will say it, is that a lot of buyers' minds are always 2 weeks behind. So this has changed so quickly. So if you're a buyer, you have to trust your agent and you have to know that your agent is paying attention.
Right.
Because it is happening so quickly. I was showing houses on the weekend and had this conversation of, oh my gosh, this is happening so fast. And immediately they said, oh, we thought this was a great time to get a steal and steal a house.
Well, and we are working against headlines. Like there are general headlines that go out across the country, say for one market. Toronto market is very different from our market.
Yes,
Vancouver market is different than Windsor market. Yep. And Tilbury's is going to be different than Windsor as well. Like just overall, it's very hard to generalize the market at large, right?
Yes, agreed.
And so I think somebody sees something, tells their neighbor, it's a buyer's market, you're going to get a steal, go in at 50% of list price, and that's just not where we're at. So we're always kind of working against that general perception or the overall headlines. Yeah.
And I guess my takeaway for our people watching here is listen to your agent.
Please.
They are the ones in this night and day. We are keeping abreast of everything and just watching. So listen to your agent, please.
And we want the very best for you. Please know that.
Yes, exactly. But so that's kind of what the market is doing right now. Still a great time to sell. Still a great time to buy. I think people have...
Yes, I agree with both of those.
Yes.
I do agree with both of those. Like great time to list because our inventory is still low. I'm so curious to see what happens over the next month because we're stepping into spring market. We're starting to see that flurry.
Well,
I'm really excited because I don't know.
This is what I've been saying these last couple of weeks too. Our area is so forecasted, I use that word, by the weather.
Right.
So we've had good weather in the last couple of weeks and it seems like, oh my gosh, we're in a spring market all of a sudden, right? So I am anxious to see this. We know spring always brings more inventory. I'm anxious to see. I will say this, I did not expect this kind of an increase in activity this soon.
I honestly think, and we keep on going back to this point, but it's good to have a conversation about it. And I think everybody's kind of curious. I think buyers have held off for so long. They're sick of waiting. They've accepted where we're at, and they're feeling a little bit like there's some stability. Even with another raise, they've heard it, they know it, they've accepted it, and they can move forward, knowing that for the rest of this year, things aren't coming down. So if I'm moving this year, why not move now?
Yes,
right.
I agree. Yeah. I agree. And I think people are still realizing that Windsor-Essex County is a great place to be. Our prices are still very affordable, right? So,
and I think for some time. Like, we've got a lot of new jobs coming to the area.
We do. So I was just reading an article, Magna, which everybody knows Magna in our area. They are expanding 110 new jobs to the area. That's fantastic. We all know that the battery plant will bring new jobs as well.
I'm so curious to see what kind of employment comes to the area. I know St. Clair College is bringing out some different programs to be able to accommodate the plant, educate and accommodate the plant for different skill sets. So that's exciting to hear.
That is.
I don't know numbers as far as employment, but I know there's going to be feeder plants and everything. So the nice thing about that with the real estate market is that's going to hold our value when there's that kind of a draw. And the Gordie Howe Bridge. We've got lots of people coming and working on that. To get a little bit of information on that has been a tough one, but
it's so secretive.
It is.
It is like dealing with the CIA or something over there to get information, but I mean, it's got to be something exciting.
Good news, nonetheless, right? So what's going on this weekend?
Well, let's move into our Windsor news before we talk about the fun stuff. So Windsor news, speaking of jobs, new hospital continues to be underway. That's a little bit secretive as well. So in saying that, they are hosting a town hall meeting. I love that phrase, a town hall meeting on March 7th, just to discuss, I guess, the next steps. And anyone and everyone is invited. So if you are, I know there's a lot of people that are concerned about the location. There's people that are excited, but period here is if you've got questions, March 7th, town hall meeting for the new hospital.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Good to know. I'm interested in timelines, all of that kind of stuff, right?
Me too, yes.
Like, I understand that they chose the location, that they've decided on that, but I've still heard that it's kind of up in the air as well. So,
and I will admit, I don't know why. I should follow that along better. But I mean, talk about bringing in so many new jobs. That's fantastic.
I agree.
Right? And those are great jobs. Yes.
So another thing, just a heads up, not to be alarming in any way, but I did just read on AM 800 that the Canadian military is going to be practicing in our area. So keep a lookout. If you see 30 soldiers marching down your street at a time, don't be alarmed, I guess, right? They are just practicing in the area.
Training.
So just a little heads up. Yeah, practicing their routines. No, they're training. They're training. Good call.
Yes. Yeah. Training. But so if you see them, that would be kind of cool to see.
I don't know what to expect or how I'm going to feel about it, but interesting nonetheless.
We'll see them going down the streets.
Yep.
So let's talk about the weekend. So you and I both love weekend fun, and what's going on in Windsor?
So we've got Lobster Fest this weekend. I always see big billboards about it. I have not yet attended, and I'm sure you have not. Are you a big fan of lobster?
I'm not a lobster fan. I'm not a seafood fan. So are you going? Because
I'm not going.
Okay.
But it is available. Tickets are online. We're going to send the link below this. So be sure to check it out. If you are a seafood fan, take a look. You can get...
That would be fun, though. That would be fun. I'm sure they have wine, so maybe I should go for that. But
you sit and drink beside me while I
eat that lobster. Okay, the other fun thing going on this weekend, I am a big Queen fan. We are the champions.
Right.
And Queen is actually, not the actual Queen, obviously, but a
cover band.
Cover band, thank you.
Tribute.
Is playing at the Walkerville Theatre, which if you've never been to the Walkerville Theatre, it's
amazing.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it really is.
Like, from the outside, you don't think it's going to be that large, number one. And of course, there's so many great restaurants in Walkerville. So check out if you can still get tickets to that. As of last night, you could. So enjoy that.
Touching on the Walkerville restaurants. I know I've brought F&B up a couple of times, but we just got news that Grand Cantina on Drouillard is moving from that location. They are affiliated with F&B and Funky Chow and also Tallulah, which I did not know. Mm-hmm. So they're all one organization. I believe it's F&B Hospitality.
I think so.
Amazing food at all of these restaurants. And I'm kind of excited that Grand Cantina is moving to the Walkerville area, same block as the other restaurants. So F&B and Funky Chow are downstairs just beside the Walkerville Brewery.
Yeah.
And then Grand Cantina, I believe, is moving right beside the new Twisted Apron. So if you have not been to any of these restaurants, you have to check them out. Have you been to any of them?
I will admit, I've only been to Grand Cantina on Drouillard Road. I have to say, have you ever had their margaritas?
No.
Oh my gosh. They are like crafted margaritas. Okay. So delicious. And their dips, their salsa dips, out of this world. Anyways, so what's moving into Grand Cantina? Have you heard?
I have heard, which is awesome. We've got a barbecue place coming to the Drouillard area.
I love barbecue food.
Yeah.
I love food.
I love food. And you know what? I feel like I have this conversation constantly with people. We in Windsor are very spoiled for good restaurants. Like, we have good food, good cocktails, good vibes. Like, for the size of our city, we have a fantastic hospitality scene.
Let's be honest, 10 minutes from the Detroit hospitality scene, which is a huge bonus for anybody moving into this area, right?
I agree.
Anyway, that's a whole nother podcast is talking about Detroit.
Back to this weekend. So I want to touch on one more event that I mentioned in the last podcast. My dear friend and a girl that is a hero in my eyes, Nayla. She is running that pasta dinner for the organization Child Can. They work for children's cancer. So it's a pasta dinner. If you can join, it's being held at the Legion, and I'm going to link that as well. So you go online. You can either donate if you don't want to attend, or show up and buy a plate of pasta to support an amazing event. Okay?
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah. So that's about it. I am going to say, everyone, please stay tuned. Our next podcast, which is going to be in 2 weeks, we do have a surprise guest, and you all know her and love her. And it's going to be super fun. So be sure to stay tuned in 2 weeks.
Very excited about that. We'll get some news about what's coming up in the area. So thanks so much for listening. You all have a wonderful week.
Have a good weekend, guys.
Bye now.
Bye.